And I want to be respectful and have Ro introduce Ro. As you guys know, I'm just getting off the Australian conference, which was pretty unbelievable. There were about 1,000 people here, and of that, about 2/3 of the room were from our team. It was from Linda's team as well. Joss had, I think, almost 40 people there from his team as well. And it was pretty amazing, and really just goes back through what they're doing with regards to what's working, and it's really focusing on the high-paying activities. That's all that it goes back to, which is kind of doing the do. Which is making sure to start people off right and getting them their strong why. Olivia, you did such a great job with creating that thing that you put with all the different posts and showing everybody the Google Drives and things that we're working on. So I'd encourage you guys to make sure to share those. We're really working on a great starter guide for everyone there. The other thing is really helping them get a strong why of what, $1,000, if they could do that over the next couple months, how their life would change, who that they would help. So that strong why, those high-paying activities, getting them to do their very first launch event, obviously making sure that they're a product of the products, and making sure that they're on the trio and on the complete. I mean, look what's happened even with you guys with making sure you're doing your tower gardens. I mean, Suzanne, your beautiful tower garden, now that you've got a tower garden. So how important that is to be a product of the product. And then, they just commit. I mean, there's no non-negotiables with regards to everything. We started a Thursday night meeting at my house. They started a Thursday night meeting 2 years ago with 3 people, and now there's 120 people that are at that Thursday night meeting. So in your area, whether one person shows up, 10 people show up, 100 people show up, commit to every week doing a meeting. But they're not just doing one event a week. It's 7 or 8 Zoom calls a week, whether it's a Boss Babe event, whether it's a financial freedom event, whether it's a testimonial, just people sharing their stories. So it's really no magic formula other than getting people to be raving fans of the product, getting them to quickly qualify their business. It's all about a qualified business and getting people to qualify, the importance of qualifying and helping others qualify. Because how we get paid, sure, we get paid on customers, but how we really get paid and the big money is via clubs. So you want people to focus on the clubs. So now, Sylvie, that you're a VF, and Shannon, now that you're VFs, now Nancy's job is to help get you to qualify your business every month and then help other people do the same. So it's just wash and repeat of that. But I'm going to go ahead and get started, and we'll go back into this. We're going to have Lauren Berry do a great how to launch a business. She did an amazing job here, so we'll plan a special call with her. But I want to introduce pretty much the lady who, if it weren't for this lady, I don't know if all of you would be on the line right now. And I went into conference, as you know, I said no to Juice Plus for 17 years. And the reason that I went to conference was I thought that if Juice Plus could just help my friend Amanda, who was diagnosed with lupus, then it was worth it. I was not committed to doing the business. For me, it was all about, okay, I'll go tell Jeff Roberti no, just by showing up at his conference and getting out of the way. But I thought if it helped Amanda, then it was worth it. So I showed up at conference, I'm too cool syndrome. And then I was just there for one day, and Jeff was smart. He got me to go to all of the events. He sat me in the front row. I heard the research they were introducing for that event was on lupus. Then all the NM, and I'm like, oh great, of course it's lupus. That was my friend with lupus. And then the NMD speech just started, and Ro got up on stage and started to share her speech. And I felt, as I always say, that I was in that movie Bruce Almighty, that the signs were everywhere. And Ro started to share her story about how Juice Plus had helped her. And it was like hearing Amanda's story and of her situation with lupus. And I was like, how could shame on me if I don't share this with people? And so I would like for you guys to give a big clap to Ro, because if it weren't for her hearing her story, I don't know. It was just sign after sign after sign after sign. And as she was talking, I started texting people and started saying, I don't know, but it sure makes sense. So I know that you've been in the fitness industry for a long time. I don't have your bio right here, but this lady's heart and soul. She is extraordinary at building team. She's extraordinary about sharing the product with people. I hope, Ro, you'll share your story about the girl from the church at the end, I hope. At the very end, if you could close it.
I don't know.
The one that you got it to her at the very end, the one in the wheelchair.
Oh, remind me. Yeah.
Okay, so if you could share that at the end, that might be good for everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and just introduce Rose. She knows the marketing plan better than anybody as well. I'd love to get on the marketing plan when Cheryl talks about the marketing plan that's done twice a month. Cheryl Rose does a great job with the marketing plan. So I'm going to pass it on over to you and let you share your story.
Okay, thank you. All right, my hope is to inspire you to never hold back in sharing our product and our business with others, because as you know, there are so many people out there that need to hear our message. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I live in Pittsgrove, New Jersey with my husband and my 2 sons. So I'm, like Lauren said, a national marketing director, and I've been with our company almost 23 years. And it's been an amazing journey for me. Like many other representatives, I had no experience in marketing. I was a school teacher for 13 years. I taught first grade for 8 years, kindergarten for 5 years. I was also an adjunct professor for a local university. I essentially taught teachers how to teach math to youngsters. In addition to teaching, I was a health and fitness director for all the teachers in my district. And what an irony that was, because I was designing health and fitness programs for other people. And I myself was seriously ill with systemic lupus, like Lauren said. At 22, I was diagnosed. And for those of you that don't know what lupus is, it's an autoimmune disease that involves the organs. In my case, I had symptoms with pleurisy, inflammation of the chest muscles, lungs. I had liver involvement. Both of my kidneys failed twice. I was anemic and had arthritis through my body, hands, hips, knees, feet. I endured serious side effects of various medications, including prednisone, hair growing on the sides of my face. Cytoxin was pumped into my veins. I lost my hair in clumps that would come out. There was a time where I went down to 88 pounds because the chemotherapy and the prednisone reacted together, and I could eat anything, and I couldn't put on weight. It's not the way to do it, ladies, but that's what I was going through. And at the end of my workday, my legs were so achy and bloated from the edema. It took all I had to get out of the car to get into my home. And to add insult to injury, my former husband, who was my childhood sweetheart, asked me for a divorce, saying I was too sick to be married to. Now, before you start feeling sorry for me, I married the attorney that divorced me, so cut that out right now. I'm fine. I'm really, really fine. But I should tell you that let me tell you a little bit about my health journey. It started when I got back from my honeymoon in Hawaii with husband number 2, the husband I'm married to for 25 years now. Howard had to drop me off at Temple University in Philadelphia because my kidneys were failing for the second time. He was a busy attorney, and he had to get back to work. Well, you know how the hospital takes your vitals and your blood pressure and everything. They didn't do that with me. They took one look at all the water that was below my waist, and they sent me right upstairs because they were afraid that my skin was going to tear. That's how bad my kidneys were failing. That's the shape that I was in. So when they got me upstairs, they were frantically running around the hospital bed trying to figure out how to lay me down to raise my legs above my head, because they wanted to try to get the water out of my legs to go through my heart, but they couldn't lay me down because or lie me down because the pleurisy in my chest was so excruciating that they couldn't do it. And it was at that time I really started to wonder, why was this happening? There was no one in my family that had lupus. I asked the doctors if, my diet could be part of the reason, telling them that my favorite foods was tangy beef barbecues and French fries and Diet Cokes. They said no. And I said, well, maybe all the antibiotics that I was given as a child. And they said, no, it wasn't that. However, I didn't believe them, completely. And I began to educate myself about nutrition. I began to eat more whole foods. However, I continued to have the flares. And then I was introduced to Juice Plus. I was skeptical, but I was desperate. So I tried it. I was hoping for a miracle. And like I said, I had many different medications, but nothing seemed to be helping me. I took mega doses of vitamins, and I just wasn't able to get back my health. However, at approximately 3.5 months on Juice Plus, I started to notice improvement in my health. They were subtle. I started to see changes in my bowel movements. Instead of being constipated and having diarrhea, I was really getting to be a regular gal. I wasn't having the incidence of colds. If I didn't have a cold, I didn't get a flare with the lupus. So that was really significant for me. So gradually I received more and more results. And my rheumatologist gradually took me off all medications. I had my first baby at 37 and my second baby at 41. Not because I planned it, because I was getting healthier and I could never get pregnant. And this was remarkable because the doctors told me that I would never conceive, and if I did, I would never carry the baby to term. Well, I do have two strong boys that I'll show you. This is, can you see this here? Let's see. This is Dustin, who's 17. This is Tyler, that's 22, that just graduated with honors and is going to go on to medical school. So not only did Juice Plus help me, but it helped the future generation, because just like Lauren says that she may not be with her company today and you may not be doing what you're doing today. Well, my boys wouldn't have even been in this world. Tyler, who, is an EMT and saves people and, wants to be a medical doctor, that would not have happened. The doctors were concerned that, maybe the boys would have systemic lupus themselves, but they never ate like me. And I took really good care of that, knowing that what you do put in your body really does affect you. And they take their Juice Plus every single day. And are you ready for this? 22 and 17. Neither one of them has ever missed a day of school. Okay? That's remarkable to me. So let me go back, though. I want to tell you something else real fast. This is my long story. 17 years ago, after I had my second baby, my blood pressure went up while I was on Juice Plus. Okay, now I was on Juice Plus and I was doing well. However, I want to remind you that I had 2 kidney failures that affects your blood pressure. So something went wrong during that second delivery, okay? This was postpartum. And my blood pressure went sky high, and the doctors didn't want to discharge me. And they finally got it down with the understanding that I would have a nurse come to the house to take my blood pressure and that I would stay still. And I was like, you've got to be kidding. And so I begged him for a month to give me a month to get it down naturally myself. And lo and behold, our Vineyard blend came to market, the berries that are very powerful antioxidants. And I started taking that and my blood pressure went down. The doctors were amazed. And so because of that, I never miss a day of the Vineyard. I want to tell you something else, and that's about Raynaud syndrome. So I want you to share this with people because it's a syndrome where your lower extremities, your hands, your feet, the circulation can cut off. And when I was on the Juice Plus, I had Raynaud syndrome secondary to the lupus, but the Juice Plus never seemed to clear that up. Now, let me tell you how serious it is. When my boys were little and wanted to go out and make a snowman, I would have to wrap my fingers, okay, in saran wrap, put them in gloves, heavy gloves, and then take those hot packs, put them on my gloves, and then take very heavy gloves and put them on. And when I went outside, I couldn't stay outside very long for fear of losing a finger, okay? So just keep that in mind. So now I started the Vineyard, and the Vineyard completely stopped any Raynaud's that I was having in my feet. I no longer get it. And because I was wise and started taking extra Vineyard, I no longer get it in my fingers. So sometimes, it will make people with Raynaud syndrome just about completely go away, and sometimes it will make it better. So my message to you is there's not a single condition that Juice Plus cannot help. What Lauren was talking about was I had a minister come to me and ask me to share Juice Plus with a young teacher. And she had lupus, and she didn't have kidney failure. She was wearing a bag. Her kidneys failed. They just were not working anymore because of the lupus. And we talked about the Juice Plus and the need to get her started. And she was like me, she was desperate and she was ready to get started. And I was just as excited to have her start because I could tell that this young lady was really suffering. She was in her 20s, just like me when I was diagnosed. And when I called her, I still get choked up about it. Her aunt answered the phone, and she told me that the Juice Plus had arrived, but she didn't have an opportunity to open it. She had died. Okay, so we never got to that. So my plea with you is there's lots of me out there walking around, okay, with cancer, with heart disease, with MS, with so many diseases. When people say, you got to share this with a shitload of people, that's right, okay? Because you may save someone's life. That's how serious this is. We're making a difference. Our company encourages education. Juice Plus can be a catalyst, a way for someone that's stuck in their unhealthy habits to get that good nutrition, to make a difference, in their body. They will, eventually start making other changes. So in closing, I must encourage you to share your business at the same time that you share Juice Plus. There's power in team. I don't think there's a stronger word than team in this world. That's how much I believe in team. You will certainly make more of an impact helping people with their health. And in doing so, you'll be helping other people, with their economic situation as well. And remember, you can do anything, but you can't do everything. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. And that's why we call it the present. Your focus determines your future. Decisions determine your destiny. There was nothing that was going to stop me from regaining my health. When I was introduced to Juice Plus, I was desperate, but I stayed focused on taking it consistently and doing whatever it took to achieve vibrant health. So when you hesitate, think of me. Juice Plus saved my life. I will forever be in debt to the person that cared enough to share it with me. Incidentally, I was the first person he shared it with and I was his first NMD. So make the decision to stay focused on your business. Do it consistently, and you too will be amazed at what you can achieve. Does anyone have any questions?
Wow, pretty amazing. Maybe if you guys have a question, could you put your hand up? And now you guys can see why it was a must for me to share this, and saw it really as as Rose says, as a responsibility, not an opportunity. So how many of you thought of one or two people that you need to share this with as you just raise your hand? How many of you thought of 1, 2, 3, 4? Nobody, we weren't raising their hand. Raise your hand if you've thought of people.
Good.
Right?
Good, Olivia.
Right. So who has a question? Anybody have a question?
Does anyone have a question? I've been around a long time. You can ask me anything.
Hello.
Hi, Ro.
Hi.
It's Mo.
Hey, Mo.
Mwah. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I have a question. I have a friend's friend who has lupus.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just curious, when you started taking Juice Plus, did you take one at a time? How did you start? Like, a lot of people are scared to take.
Yeah. When I started Juice Plus, I started out slow, okay, the same way that most people will start: one fruit in the morning, one vegetable in the evening. And you remember now, we're going back 22 years, okay? So that's how I started. And I was very polluted with many medications: Plaquenil, an anti-malaria drug for the pleurisy, Cytoxin was being pumped into me, prednisone. So I had a lot of things going on. And then I built it up to 2 and 2. And I was just at 2 and 2. It's remarkable that I really even felt anything. But about 3.5 months, I started to get regular in my bowel movements. And then around 4 months, my blood study started to come within normal limits. My rheumatologist sat me down because he didn't see any protein in my urine. When you have kidney failures, you'll usually get protein in your urine, and he didn't see it. Matter of fact, he didn't even believe that it was my urine, and made me go in and pee in a cup, and he ordered it stat. And when it came back the same way, he sat me down. He said, "Now you tell me what you're doing." Well, no, I did not even think it was the Juice Plus, because I was taking mega doses of vitamins. I was taking the medicine. Juice Plus was just one of many things, right? And so he even said to me, "Are you still seeing that quack that's doling out the vitamins?" I said, "Yes," And he said, "You better think," he said, "because you're doing something different." And that's when I sat him down and I explained the Juice Plus. And I never looked back. So he's the one that took me off of all the meds, not myself.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, so I know there's a lot of people that maybe, because I truly believe, after hearing this story, I know for me, as I share, when I heard your story is when I really started writing down the names of everybody that I loved and cared about. So, I just remember I did 356 names after I heard you speak. So, for everybody that's on this call, what is it that got you hungry after hearing her story, and it's going to be like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to talk to more people. I know, Ro, you have how many customers? I know that you love to put on.
Well, when I first started, I kind of was an orphan. The man that brought me into the business kind of didn't do the business. And so I didn't know anyone, to really teach me the business. And so all I knew was to go out. If you can imagine this, we had no DVDs, we had no website, we had no links, we had no cell phones, and all we had was these ugly orange boxes. And so I would have to go into people's homes and talk to them about why they needed to take Juice Plus. How do you like that? Okay. So now I know you're not going to believe what I'm going to share with you, but this is documented with the company. In 1997, I was the #1 for customer acquisition. I was brought on too. Can you believe that? Not today. Not today with Lawrence Slocum's moving. Are you kidding? But I was. And that's because my passion to help people was there. And then I wised up and realized, hey, I got to build a team to reach more people. And that's why I believe that team is the most powerful word.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's really what it is. I mean, if you look at what's happening around the world, I mean, you could put on as many customers as you want, but if you don't help build team, then it doesn't matter in the first place. And as Cheryl says, there's only two kinds of people who need money and people who want more of it, right? So they can do more good things, so they can give back, so that they can share more, so that they can help more people. So let's, 2 more questions. Any other questions? There's got to be questions for her. Are you kidding?
We actually had one.
Okay.
I have one.
Okay. Who's this?
Going? This is, I guess I'll go. This is Andres, calling from California. Thank you very much. I have known about your story, I don't know, since I had, gained reason in Juice Plus world. Like it's been like kind of like the unicorn story, right? And in fact, unicorn, because I knew it came from somewhere.
I'm 60 years old, so I have been around a long time.
So the question is, I love the story, and I've seen the effects of Juice Plus on people who have been,
Excuse me, Thomas.
Very challenged.
You're without video.
Me?
I can see you.
Okay, so that's
Watch
okay.
the ball.
You can hear me. If you can hear me, that's great. So I've known of a lot of people who have had who have challenges, intense challenges like lupus with their immune system. My question is, because obviously I become so passionate that it's almost like, oh my God, you have to see this, you have to hear this, you have to do this. Because I've also learned how much it affects the lives of the person who are going through the challenges, right? I've been healthy, so I've taken that for granted, but then I see and I hear the stories of the before and after, and I empathize with that. So for you, when you were approached by your sponsor and they introduced you with Juice Plus, what was it about that made you open to it? And I know that a lot of people are very desperate because they're going through lupus, but they also have lost a lot of hope regarding what could possibly really help them. It's almost like they know that they've tried everything and nothing's going to work.
Right.
So how do you break through that?
It was a relationship. It was the relationship that I had with the person that shared it with me. I really think relationships are very important. I tell my team, go out and make friends and don't even mention Juice Plus, because when people buy you, then they'll buy your product, they'll buy your business. So people want to trust people, but unfortunately you see a lot of people, especially on Facebook, they're in your face, buy my product, buy this. Like, why should I buy you? I don't know you. I don't trust you. So I always try to, encourage my team to build relationships. We have lots of events, a lot of little events. I used to put on big events, bring the doctors in. We're allowed to have 2 doctors in a year. But, we do things like yoga and smoothie in the park. So we salad parties, salad on a stick. We're going to do a garden party. And it builds relationships with the team, and we invite the customers. And when we build up those relationships, people are more, out to be open to our business, be open to our product. So,
and that's what Jeff always says, long-term relationship equals long-term success, and that's what it's about. We are in the, it's like, what kind of business are we really in? We're in the relationship business, and so that people look, like, it's exactly what you say. And that's what our job is with regards to social media, is to add as much value. The other thing, guys, is that being a really great, like I'm looking at my messages. It's like these calls are so to promote these calls. I see all of us that are on these calls. It's important for us to be on these calls, but it's also to make sure we bring others to the call. Like I should have done, me personally, should have done a better job to make sure I promoted about, Ro, anybody who has any autoimmune disorders, to make sure that they're on this call. So we've got to be really great promoters of these calls so people can hear this story. I've had 6 people private message me about how amazing this story is, and that they wish they would have had more people on this call. So we've got to if we really want to grow this, and we really want to help people, we've to make sure to bring people to these calls, and to share her story the way that Jeff understood conference was for me and hearing her story. So who's committed to that, being a better promoter? Raise your hand. Really promoting these calls. So awesome. Very cool. Ro, any final words that you want to share with someone?
Yeah, Lauren?
Yeah?
Lauren, I've got one quick question. Ro, this is Kristen Cronin. Thank you very much for sharing. I'm wondering, do you have your story documented anywhere where I can go and grab it? I have a couple friends with lupus that I'd like to share your story with as I speak with them.
Well, that's why we now have this on Zoom. We have this on Zoom now, and you can forward this Zoom call. So that'll be posted.
I can forward the Zoom calls.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. That's going to be more powerful because she shared it in a group, like she said.
That would be great. I didn't know we could share Zoom calls with people who were not part of the team and stuff.
That's the goal. Cool. Just share these Zoom calls with them. Yeah.
Then I will do that. Thank you.
Awesome. So thank you guys. I know that that Olivia's posted next week's call. You'll definitely be wanting to promote that call next week. And so this here's what I would suggest you guys, homework wise, really. And I just did this with Sally's team. High paying activities. What really are those high paying activities? One, go back, take an hour right now. I just did this for myself just last night. I focused for 1 hour on really going back of like, what's really my deep why? You got to dig super deep, guys. Go back, press that reset button. Now, after hearing Rose's story, look at it like it was just like this was your very first conference, like I did hearing Rose's story. What really is your why for sharing this business? Why is it a must for you to get out there and do this? I mean, you look at Adam started this business 2 years ago. Now he's able to, he gave his gyms back. He didn't even ask for any money. He's a 200 club next month and his wife is a 100 club next month. So you can do this. You do have to focus. You have to dig deep into your why. Then what do you need to do? You need to focus on those high paying activities, which are doing your grid. What's a grid? Is just taking a calendar, your month calendar, and write down at least 5-10 people that you're going to talk to every single day. Doesn't have to be about Juice Plus. It could be just like, I was just thinking about you. I hope you're doing great. Just wanted to check in. And you drip on people like Jeff did with me for 17 years. That's what you want to do. What else do you want to do? All of your new people, you want to make sure that you set up their launch party, whether it's a salad on a stick. I love that one that you just said, or keeping it, get their launch party for them. Their launch party could be on Facebook. It could be live, but you got to get people comfortable. How do you get better at something? You start doing it. You start doing it over and over and over again. So the thing that's scaring you is what you need to be doing, because you're not serving your team if you're not doing the thing that scares you the most. And welcoming people to the calls. What do you need to do? Be a great promoter of these calls. Olivia, I just really want to do a big shout out to her again, because she does such a great job of really creating pieces that you can forward on to people, or Google Drives, or, we've got all of these things that we're putting together. It's for you, for your success. Doing an event every week consistently, even if one person shows up, as I shared, Linda had 4 people at her event 2 years ago. Now there's 120 people. It's sidelines coming together, getting together, and just the power of numbers. Everything else that you want to do is that you want to make sure to DD and SD and VF, those are stepping stones. As we want to get people to the highest commission structure as quickly as possible, which is SC. So you want to say to people, my job is to get you to the highest commission structure as quickly as possible. How do you do that? You make sure that people are a product of the product. They got to be on the products. They've got to at least make sure they're on the trio and the shakes. And then you can add the Tower Gardens and the bars and everything in there. But if they want it, this is a business. So if they want to treat it, if this is a business, you'd make sure you have all the inventory of everything that you're sharing with people. And those are the high paying activities, and events. Even though you guys don't want to hear it, you go, I did one event last week, nobody showed up. This is about doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 events, get together with sidelines and do those events consistently. Understand the marketing plan. I know that, Linda's putting some people through boot camp about how they share the marketing plan. I know that Brandy's on that boot camp journey, and maybe Brandy can teach that to you guys of like what they've been doing, but it's over and over and over again. So that we're great promoters. So I hope this call's been valuable to you. Let's give her a big hand of just an amazing job that you did. And Ro, thank you for really changing my life and the direction for so many people. You've helped millions and millions of people just from me hearing your story. So imagine if you times that by the 5,000 people that were at conference then and all the people that we'll be sharing this call with. So thank you guys.
You're a blessing yourself to me. Thank you.
Thanks guys. Bye guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, merci.